Sure.
We won't add it, I should say.
Nothing on it, on the regular meeting.
No, so
It's all in
we'll,
there.
we'll do a regular meeting, so we'll go into executive session, we'll go do all those things, and then afterwards, Linda can do a verbal poll saying that you approve Phil signing it. And then Doug and Linda and I can add it to the agenda to ratify for the next meeting. Perfect.
Okay.
It is 9 o'clock.
It is 9:05.
I have it on record.
We don't have it on.
And Doug, I have like 2 seconds.
And I,
Normally we have our morning prayer, and see what you're gonna do.
they missed it this morning.
Yeah.
so. 9 o'clock, and I called the August 28th meeting of the Pitt County Commissioners to order.
You wanna do the pledge?
Mhm.
We wanna do the pledge.
Yeah, let's do the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
You guys had a fight, did you?
No, I don't get cell phone service over there, so I
Okay, so first item on the agenda is the report from Core Civic.
Morning. Good morning. Was talking to Stephen, yesterday, he said I would have to reintroduce myself, because it's kind of hard for somebody who's so late, did a lot of travel and stuff along those lines, so I apologize for that. This comes with the position, I guess. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the prison. Currently, we're sitting at just under 1,400, which is a little bit more than what we're capacity contracted to house. We're contracted at 1,388. State, of course, I mean, if you look at any news, you'll see that there's some challenges that's occurring currently inside the state with prison beds and availability and stuff along those lines. So we don't see anything but a stable population, you know, moving forward for the near and possibly, you know, far future. I mean, some would have to dramatically change to allow for them to well, be vendors out of our population are actually needing more, needing more, needing more. Some things that we've got going on at the facility, October the 23rd and 24th, we're gonna have our second annual cancer walk. We had some of the commissioners come out last time. We're putting out our invite hopefully in the next week or so to get everybody invited to come out and participate in that. Last year we raised over $10,000 for 2 of the local cancer what was it? It was La Junta's. The Junta was hospice, and in Lamar, it was the cancer treatment center that we donated those funds to. This year, we're planning on doing the Lamar hospice and the La Junta hospice, split those funds that we raised, so.
Where do you have this cancer walk at?
At the facility, so we'll send it out, and we have select folks that we invite from outside in the community, so we don't bring in family members and stuff along those lines for this, but we do bring in. BOCC officials, we invite, of course, our city and county leaders. We've expanded on our community relations list. We went through it last week, and I felt there's some opportunity to really invite some more folks that are part of our community. So we've stuck we sent out a list for this one, which is September the 16th, our lunch is. And we hope, I doubt it will impact this one, but I'm hoping that on the next one, it'll be able to impact the volume of folks. I want to grow out of the golf center, and possibly in the community center. And again, if I have to rent a bigger building or a gym or something along those lines, that's fine. I want as many people in the community to come out and really see what we're doing and the impact that we're doing. And gives our staff an opportunity to get in front of folks and really express what they're doing at a high level at the facility. And breaking bread is always important. You like to eat out of the facility, so if you haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, I was at the last one, very long.
Yeah, the cancer walk, we're hoping we're expanding a little bit this year. We had a little bit more time to plan this year. It's still gonna be a 2-day event because we have some compound separation things that we have to, for the security purposes. We wanna still maintain some separation between our compounds. But generally in these types of events, you don't have those type of issues. But, we're gonna prepare just in case, because we are still a prison. But it's for a great cause and, the population really is a leader in putting on this event. They're the ones that brought it to us last year. We have a lot of cancer survivors at the facility and our staff. So they wanted to grab hold of it. So this will be our second annual one. And we hope that it'll be more successful than last year's because we have a little more time to plan. We're hosting our annual volunteer banquet on October the 11th. This is for the volunteers who come in to offer services to the facility, from religious services and things along those lines. We have about 60 volunteers that currently come in. We started doing this a couple years ago. We hadn't been doing it, I guess, because of COVID or whatever, but we started it back up. Saw some small numbers the first year. It increased a little bit last year. We intend on it increasing again this year. We'll play it by ear. It's close. Some of them travel from very far away. I mean, our Buddhist, he travels from Denver, so whether or not he comes down or not, well, it's totally up to him. But we will host that on October the 11th. As I mentioned, on the 16th, y'all should have already received your invites. If not, they'll be in the mail soon. That's something that we looked at as well, is some of the folks that we're inviting, they weren't personalized. So we have done some more personalized invites to individuals. I guess there's some mailboxes that are linked to the same folks, so y'all all get
I got one.
one PO box, and then there's some other folks in this building, I guess, that gets it at the same PO box, and I said, this is kind of different, but it's okay. We just want to make sure that folks are getting their invites and they know that they're invited to these things. So a couple of sponsorships that we've done in the past month. Los Animas came out last week and they're gonna paint, the football team is gonna paint the end zones, I guess, blue. So they asked for a donation. We're gonna donate them $1,000 to help with that endeavor. We sponsored the McClay volleyball camp that occurred last week, I think it was. Pretty successful for all those young kids that are trying to be future volleyballers. So I was able to help them with that. We're currently assisting the city with the police chief of police board. As everybody probably knows, the city's going to bring back their own local police force. And with that, they've reached out to me and my AW and asked us if we would help them look at the high level, the candidates, and kind of sort through the ones that may need to not be interviewed, the other ones that would probably be the higher level possibilities for them. So there was 18 applicants. We've narrowed it down to 5 so far. Of course, there's some work still to be done. Then they'll do the interviews and it'll go in front of the it's not commissioner, but it's city council. The city council to make their selection on who they're going to move forward with. But there was some pretty good candidates. We'll just kind of see how that turns out hopefully in the near future for them. Working on some things with our vets, with our local vets, the VFW. Hopefully we'll have them out. We got 17 of them cleared. They want to participate in some things with us at our facility with want to invite them to our veterans program where we have all of our population, we feed them lunch and we do a nice little celebration for the service that they did for the United States. And then they're also going to assist us with our flag burning ceremonies. So our local vets are going to come out and so that we're doing this right and not disgracing our flags. So that should be happening in the next couple of months. I don't know if Stephen had mentioned in the last meeting, but we started a wheelchair program called Wheels for the World. And it's been going very well. We've got about 10 vendors that are currently working in that program. We should be sending our first tractor trailer full of them out. Over 250 have been repaired so far. So we should be sending that out pretty soon. I imagine our corporate office and some folks will be doing some kind of news release and stuff along those lines, just so that, you know, it puts some focus on some of the positive things that prisons are doing, not just, you know, some of the negative things that people might hear. But that's going fairly well, and the population is loving it. Let's see here, staffing is looking pretty good for us. We currently have 6 of our staff that are TUI, which is temporary duty at one of our facilities in Tennessee, helping them out with some things. So we're fortunate to, you know, be able to assist them with our staffing levels being at the level that they are. We've experienced in the past month or so some downward slide in our medical department, where we're currently recruiting for some additional mental health addictions treatment and some providers in those aspects. And that's not a bit thing, that's a nationwide thing. Everybody's needing more mental health folks, everybody's needing more folks to do addictions treatment and things along those lines. So and one of our mental health ladies that actually leads our program currently, she's fixing to retire in January, but I mean, she's 70 years old and says she wants to enjoy some of her life while she still has it. So, you know, can't do nothing but respect that. Some of the programs that we've got going on currently, very happy to report out that our high school equivalencies are GEDs. We had a goal for 30 this year. We're sitting at 39, so we may be able to possibly double our goal. That would be nice. But we're sitting at 39 right now. So that continues to go really well for us. Our IRCs, which is industry recognized certificates, something a person can utilize in the general public when they get out to help them with job placement, things along those lines. We've completed 256 of those so far this year. So that's a good some good progress in those aspects. 476 completions in behavioral change. Personally, I believe that behavioral change is really where it needs to happen. If we're going to put people back into society with the mindset change of being active participants in our community and the change of the negative criminal aspects, it's cognitive change that does that. It's not so much a certificate to, you know, work on a car or whatever it is. That just gives you something to lean on when you really got to change the mindset of individuals. So we're focusing on some of those things, and you can see with the number of completions we've had this year, excuse me, so far, we're heading in the right direction in that aspect. From a recreational standpoint, you know, we always want to keep our population busy. About 500, so just under half of our population participating in some high level type of recreational program, not just, you know, going and walking around the park. It's actually participating in some specific program, anything from softball, soccer, you know, they're organized programs. So those are good things, keeps our population, you know, hopefully their mindset in the right direction, so they aren't doing negative things out of hands, devil's handiwork. I think we've all heard that. So that's where we stand currently at Bent. You know, a lot of things continuing to go on, good things happening for the facility, you know, it's staying full, being able to serve our partner the way that they expect us to serve them, which is good. I think we're done with all of our audits for this year, which is great, but then next year we start back up. We got to get ACA again, which is part of our contract. It's required to be completed. So we have that, and then PREA again next year. And then, so a couple of those things that are, you know, contract driven, but again, nothing I'm concerned with. You know, we have very high level performing staff out there that are doing what we're required to do, and you know, trying to keep our community as safe as possible. Working with Jake a little bit, we're still trying to work on that range out at Fort Lyon. I did find out I needed to talk to some DOLA, was the name of the place that I'm gonna have to talk to, so. Had to cross some bridges to try to figure out specifically who we need to talk to, but we're working on that, and I firmly believe that. So what Jake was telling me before was one of the challenges was this, that the community was concerned, or. There was the allegation the community would be concerned with, firearms being shot out there. I have a different viewpoint on it. I have the viewpoint of you have additional presence of law enforcement. So whenever we hear about and we see some of the town halls that the citizens have genuinely expressed their concerns, additional law enforcement being out there to do those types of things should allow them a little bit of ease, knowing that, they have right down the street some individuals that are trying to assist them with the community safety. So again, I think that if we approach it through some of those aspects versus just what we would like to do, because it is a genuine concern of the community out there, and we want to help with that. So we'll kind of see how that goes as we move forward with that. Questions y'all got for me?
Were we wanting to ask about the meals, the billing for the meals?
Yeah, we're still getting billed on 6 month intervals.
Okay.
And it really messed up our budget for this year.
I thought we changed that, did it not?
Yeah, I know we talked but last time I talked to Jake, we're still on 6 months, and then
Let me
like a month
make
ago.
sure that everything's
Yeah.
true. Let me make sure everything's true.
Yeah.
Cause it doesn't mean that they're not holding them and giving them to you in that aspect. I wanna find out what we're sending them. And Miranda would have yeah, she would have a trail or a track how we're actually sending them. Yeah, I'll look at that. And I'll let y'all know how we've been sitting, and if we're making a mistake, then we'll get it fixed.
Okay.
What else?
I don't have anything, our lobbyist.
Mhm.
Up at the Capitol is on, and Joni, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions, but I have to tell you, I was quite impressed with the number of GEDs that you guys have gotten done. I mean, those are good data points for us to know with legislators and stuff. So thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. A great team.
So, okay,
All right. Well, y'all have a good day. Let's get the other NZ. Full day of us. Ooh. I'm the good one.
Dinner's.
Yeah, I mean.
Dinner's gonna be awesome. I aggravated, she'll say. Enjoy. I agree.
There you go.
Y'all have a good one.
Take care. Maybe there wasn't a fight earlier, but.
okay, so we got about 10 minutes here, so minutes.
Minutes.
Today or even.
Since we changed the social services, I don't like it, so. If someone has a suggestion, to reword that. Look at that. I didn't not want to put it since they were on the agenda, sort of. I didn't.
I'll probably get it fixed for the future ones to where it won't be a part of this at all. It'll be its own separate thing.
But I won't put it on there at all.
Yeah, you won't have to put it on there at all.
But
Yeah.
honestly, like that.
I was gonna bring minutes, but then I realized it wasn't the same meeting, so I shouldn't.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And so that's the week, doesn't have a full week, so. You know, something's starting there, but.
I think it's fine, right?
Okay. Thanks.
So maybe just add that in the sheriff's discussion, when they were talking about the mini split, that we are waiting for them to get medical bids because it was gonna be a big enough project that they needed to do the 3-bid process. And just to get that clarification in there.
What specific wording you want to use?
Um. Just adding that, yeah, the sheriff's office will work on getting bids to meet up with plan.
The requirement you're talking about is your procurement policy.
Yes, I need to specify that, don't I?
It'd probably be better.
The grant there in the last paragraph, the full paragraph. CD, it should be CD.
Yeah, EDBG.
That's the name of a club in New York.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I didn't see anything else.
None for me. All over approved the minutes is record.
Then moved seconded to approve the August 21st, 2025 minutes of the Bay County Commissioner meeting
As amended.
Hmm?
As amended.
as amended. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
There's just the one big one. If you want to look at that, I can hold up here.
Yeah.
And it's. Did we get Gobins to come in and verify all the printers since we were questioning on some of them, date clarification?
Sheriff's Office needed the main.
Gotten here. I have contacted them. They have not yet gotten here. We'll recontact.
Any discussion on the bills and payroll?
Guess I don't have any more, some I don't like, but this.
I would move that we approve the bills for August run 3 and payroll.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the bills and payroll. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Yeah. Get one of them right anyway.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
The resolutions I want you to sign, so.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to our next item or on the agenda, Benton County Zoning Board.
Zoning. Good morning, all. I'm here on behalf of the Benton County Zoning and Planning Commission. The McClay School District has completed the county's special review permit application to rezone the property that they currently own from agricultural to a multi-use district. There's no agricultural activities going on there currently, and this is also the site where their new school will be built starting December of this year. We did hold a public hearing last Thursday. There was no opposition. Our board met yesterday, and we would like to formally recommend to the commissioners that this zoning request be approved.
Do you have a copy of the zoning request application that they filled out?
No, Doug does.
You do.
Oh, it's not in there.
Not in here?
No, that's
Okay.
minutes. But no, Doug does.
I don't have it here, but.
Yeah.
Not the licensure. I do have the file.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna play new girl.
So you're asking the commissioners to approve what the planning commission had approved moving forward, but it's not on the agenda for approval.
You just
And you
have,
haven't. Do you have a time frame for approval?
We were hoping today.
But I mean, like, do you have a time frame? You have to have it approved?
No.
In your
No.
code?
I apologize, I've been on the agenda for about 6 weeks, just trying to make sure that.
No, I know, we're all gonna be working through how to do this
Sure.
more efficiently, but I'm just curious.
This is our first.
Yeah.
This is back rezoning in
Recent
decades.
memory.
So
For at least for another 2.5 years.
this is a learning experience for all of us.
At least.
However.
And your code doesn't require the commissioners to have a public hearing, just the planning commission?
It does, they're supposed to. They come in, they recommend, and then we set a public hearing.
Okay,
It is.
that's normally how it works.
It's how it's supposed to work, yeah.
Which means, okay, so for the agenda for today would be to set the public hearing. I'm sorry, I don't have your like code in front of me. Do you know if there's like a certain amount of time?
Yes.
Well, it depends on the type of public hearing, in this particular one, I think it's a 30-day.
We did a 30-day on this particular one. That's what the application says, if that's helpful, for their requirement to notify the contiguous neighbors and things like that, and publish in the newspaper. They did 30 days.
No, I'm a full there.
I had one question, on the minutes held on the 21st of August. It says, when you were discussing high school on the silo, they were going to have it dismantled, and so I read that somewhere.
They do not own that property. They have subdivided that purchase.
That's what I thought.
So they do not intend to purchase that property unless and until they secure a grant to demolish it. But I had invited the emergency manager for the county to the meeting, and she was kind of strategizing ways to keep kids out of it in the meantime. So that property will continue to not be owned. But if the current landowner didn't even realize he still owned it until the school brought it to his attention, we didn't think that it would probably do anything to help keep students out. So they obviously are accessing it already to write their school graduation year on it, which is incredibly
That's what it is.
So.
It's the big sign.
So we've strategized some things, and the school has said they were willing, verbally said they were willing to pay for fencing or something.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's a ladder on the side, so.
There was a huge liability issue there, so
Exactly.
I'm sure they don't want that.
No, we do not. And one of our board members yesterday suggested that in the future, that this property that they have subdivided and owned, they're gonna use for a detention pond. I thought it was retention, but it says detention, whatever. Butts up to a hay mill. And that property right next to it will be used for overflow parking for sporting events. So he suggests that, suggest in the future to put K-rail or fencing or something so that people don't think they can just park on the hay mill property and then walk to the football field or the baseball field or whatever. So that's a long way.
I don't think that's been a problem, but I don't know.
No, but people don't park over there because it's county shop right now, right there.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
Fence is probably a good idea.
And the school is going where the parking is for the football field right now. The school's going right on top of that. So, yeah. I saw we had our meeting at the fire station and they had all the blueprints for the school and the property. So we, took the liberty of looking at it. There probably is enough parking, but you get some big game where people are fired up and a lot of visitors come. We're gonna need to have contingency plans for parking.
So the two areas the board has the biggest liability in general, one is sheriff's office, second is land use.
Mhm.
And so maybe I'm being a little hypersensitive, but I wanna make sure that we get through this the right way so that it doesn't come back on any of you. So my suggestion would be, if we have to set a public, do you have it in front of you, what the code says? No, oh, I didn't know if you pulled it up.
I do not, I pulled up the permit, I emailed it out to everybody, and I can bring it up if we need it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if it's a 30-day or less. meeting was my main thing.
So, but I'll look at it real quick, but my suggestion is that after your agenda items, we're gonna go into executive session and then we were gonna approve the grant and then ratify at the next meeting. We can do the same thing, so at least we can get the public notice published and do all of those things. So we can do both of those. And then in the future, we'll work together more. I know you just met me like today. so-
No, yeah. And my next item that I was going to suggest, at our board meeting yesterday, your county's property right there on the corner, I call it the dollar property, but the county, where the new county shop is being located is also zoned agricultural. And so we've kind of nicely suggested that the county mount the same special review permit application. But our board members were concerned yesterday that if, we're bringing contractors in to construct the new road and bridge shop, that we get this rezoned to multi-use district just to alleviate any chance of litigation or anybody gets injured, that sort of thing. So we would like to formally verbally request today that this application be filled out by the county by September 17th, which is our next meeting. So that we could review, and we will gladly then start the process to host a public hearing, that sort of thing, but, to kind of get both those things going, because I have not heard, when Daniels is going to start, not breaking ground, but, start
I have
their.
not yet issued notice to proceed.
Okay, but as long as these notices take and things like that, we'd like to get the ball rolling formally.
Okay, so this is 15 days in advance, public, hearing.
If I submitted it today, it would be next Thursday before it was published.
Okay.
And if I submit it on Monday, it'll be next Thursday. It's published. They only publish on Thursday.
But it makes sense to get through the process to where they have the hearing that
Right,
we do.
yeah.
But if it was the normal money.
Yeah, on Tuesday too. It will still be Thursday.
Ready. I need to look though, they don't know this offhand. But if it's county property and it has to be rezoned. I guess I haven't seen a county have to apply to itself for its own rezone.
True.
So I'm confused, I need to look at that. Because obviously you all would be the applicant and then you would be the ones who approve, and that to me makes some sense.
Sure.
So I don't know what that looks like.
Okay.
So just like, give me like a day. I'm working with
Absolutely.
all day tomorrow, so I can catch up, but. I don't know that you need to do an application for rezone if you're the county.
Would it still need to go before a hearing at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
Because again,
great.
you all are gonna be the applicant and I mean, like, who makes the decision, like, that doesn't to me make
Yeah.
any sense.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think you can probably just rezone it, but
Okay.
I wanna check that out, cause it's different. So,
The purpose of the public hearing so that the neighbors can have their say.
Yes.
yes,
I don't know, we may want to actually have at least a public meeting so that they could do that, but.
probably yes.
And we would be glad to host that at the zoning commission.
Yes, I just need to figure out
Yeah, I
that.
don't know if it has to be a hearing, yeah.
Yeah,
But if we had. Every landowner. I guess
or the side.
we wouldn't have put in an application for
Sure.
a public hearing if we, more than likely, we're gonna approve it.
Right.
Well, and the whole process that the previous board of commissioners did with taking on that land was for the purpose of building the shop, and they kind of already made those decisions that that's what was gonna be there. So for us to even, as a new board, to deny rezoning it for what they've already put in place with the grant and everything would be, it just seems we need to let Rose do her research.
Yeah, let me just catch up a little bit on that one.
Sure.
But for sure, you're gonna need one on this one, so. So Doug, you said you can, so they can approve it today, and then ratify, but you said you can put it in today and then it would make it in the paper for next Thursday.
I believe, yes, I
And
know.
then it would be 15 days from the publication.
Linda knows the schedule for the paper really well.
Linda, so I did.
Yeah, I'm working on past experience and I like to roll.
We're all gonna be subject matter experts in this.
By today at a certain time to get in next week's.
Right.
And then,
It's not
if you
holiday.
do it any next week, it goes in the, after.
So the 15 days would be after the publication. So if it published next Thursday, that's in the 15 days.
Right,
And then
so
I
the
have-
25th would be the earliest meeting that we could put it on the agenda. To keep with that timeframe.
Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, the zoning commission has duties and presented this to you and we can relax now, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I'll give you
And-
contact so that we can.
and in the future, you guys don't have to, you guys do a public hearing.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to be the notifications and other things that we've had for, a public meeting, you're not a public hearing. So whatever your next meeting is, you come in, you consider the thing, you invite the public in to do their thing, but you don't have to notify in the newspaper and all that other stuff like that for a hearing.
For county related rezoning or for eating?
For the zoning.
Different way.
The zoning commission
Uh-huh.
holds public, meetings and then they recommend us. And then we hold a hearing. So
we
that there's
don't
only
need to have
one
a
hearing.
public
Yeah, we don't have to have.
You don't have to have 2 public hearings.
Okay, cause the application probably maybe needs to be re-examined because
Yes,
it clearly says, yeah.
Several things in
So, so Doug and I had this conversation, I don't know if it was about this or something else, but I think actually what we need to update is your code, because, and I don't know if it's in statute or just practice, but normally planning commission would have a public hearing and then make the recommendation, and then you all would have a second public hearing, which is probably why your application says that, it's just
Sure.
that in this
Yeah.
process, but your code
But our
doesn't match
code-
that.
Yeah, our code has, you guys do a public meeting and then the commissioners do a hearing.
Right. So it sounds like we need to update our code to match the
Yeah.
application, because the application is the normal process.
I mean, when you're,
It says somewhere in there when that was last updated.
Bylaws hadn't been updated since 2003, so.
Uh,
Our bylaws hadn't been
Oh,
updated since two
I think
thousand three.
that was 2010.
11-ish, yeah, 10 or 11. I can't read.
Antiquated
believe
nonetheless.
that too, or revamp. Your application says a public meeting or a public hearing.
I need to look, I don't
Okay.
have it in
It's okay.
front of me.
It should be a
Um,
public hearing.
It did
not-
say.
Got it.
I'm 90% sure it said hearing because,
Cause all your meetings are public, but a
Yeah.
public hearing requires the notice, the paper, the
Mhm.
publish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it's a 15-day like ours is, I would assume that they would have,
the application says 30, so maybe we
Wow.
need to relook at that too. I haven't-
that
I actually think 30 is probably the right amount of time.
Yeah.
To give people sufficient notice so that they can examine it, talk to landowners, so it probably should be 30. Again, we'll have to work through what this looks like. but it should-
I submitted an application in the beginning of September, you wouldn't be able to hold a hearing until October.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Very good.
That gives people plenty of time to plan.
I just wanted to know-
Able to attend.
Which direction we were going, because I do know that
Oh, yeah.
our code says that they do not a hearing, so.
Yeah. Yes. Like I said, your biggest liability outside of the sheriff's office is land use. So making sure the public's engaged as much as possible limits your liability as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Right. Then I will continue doing it the way we did, that worked better,
Look at that.
even without the code being.
Well, we aren't deciding that right this second, but we're gonna talk through what it needs to look like.
I understand that.
Yes.
Sorry.
One question, you do have that book basically on,
Yes,
okay, so which would you prefer? Paper book with you or have her send you that?
Digital.
I'm so old fashioned. I actually really love the book. I'll take a digital too, so if I'm on the go, but I'm really a book kind of girl.
the digital version is online.
Then I can
Yeah.
just look it up.
Yeah, That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Reagan, and thank you to the zoning commission.
We learn, we're learning as we go.
I like.
Yeah.
I am across the street at a CRC, meeting today where they're starting at 1:45. Funders, are coming to see what Southeast Colorado, needs. So when I told them I needed to pop over here to do this, the CRC ladies said, if you guys want to come over, there's lunch at 12. And then the funders will be there at 1:45 just to see, because I am on the board for several nonprofits in the county, and so I made just a crazy wish list of things that I want, like a scoreboard and turf and, all these random things. And I've already had people this morning like, yeah, talk to me about that scoreboard. I'll do that for you. So, who knows, based, based on what your needs might be. But anyway, they invited, and there's some former commissioners over there too today, so. Anyway, that's the Rawlings building, sorry, I'm pointing, you should know what I'm talking
Museum.
about, yes, so upstairs.
At what time?
Well, they started at 8 o'clock, but, the part where funders will be presenting who they are and what they're willing to do is at 1:45 to 4.
Okay.
So, sorry, I'm trying to throw in public comments, because I've got to get back over there, but, and then one other thing, I do know a young lady who is a, political science, major who is looking for an internship. She said even unpaid is fine. So if, I don't know if the county does things like that. I asked her if she wanted more like the court system or if she wanted to, the intern for maybe an elected official, and I haven't heard back from her yet, but kind of keep that in your mind if you need somebody to do things like land use paperwork or something. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. So, anyway, okay, guys. Thank you for having me and,
Thank you, Brandon.
no, we'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Next item of business, consider a building permit for 3310 or 33310 County Road 30, McClave. For applicant TJ Ratliff and to add a new storage shed. Through this.
For those who don't know who where this is, it's just north of our new county shop. Just on the other side of the ditch.
Okay,
Saw it on the building.
Yeah, I looked through it, I'll let you know also.
any discussion?
I move we approve the building permit for TJ Ratliff.
I will second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the building permit for TJ Ratliff to build a storage shed. All, or any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next item. Consider a request from Los Alamos State County Library for $7,000 from the second round of Secor money. Betsy Chen. Any discussion?
Well, I just want to say that this has been. It's been interesting that we have reached out to multiple places and talked about this money that we had and how to use it for the community to help benefit the community. And it was hard to get people that were finding the time to put together something that they thought the money would be good for. And so I was very encouraged when I sat down and had a conversation with Amanda, and she already had this idea of how the money could be utilized, and she just needed to reach out to a few people to make sure that she could have the professionals come in and be able to help in the way that she envisioned. And so I really appreciate her taking the time to put in this request for this money and to find a way that I think it really could benefit our community and to help in this area.
I agree, and I was also proposing when we were allocating the sales use tax, their application was head and shoulders, they were just fantastic, it was very detailed, and so I think this.
They don't leave you questioning what their plans are. They give you everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was helpful.
And, like I said, I saw this and it is very well organized and thought out, so.
I'm just excited to see the money used
Yeah.
directly in our community for a way that I think that will really impact our community.
I agree.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion.
We did all of our discussion before the motion.
You know.
Now, Steve said they have a motion, second, they don't vote, they just said the opposition.
So do I have a motion?
I would motion that we approve the request for the $7,000 to the Los Angeles Bank County Library for the C-Corps money.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No, I think we got it all out. No, I think we got it all out.
Okay. All those in favor?
I
Any opposed? Motion carries. You want that or either to Doug or?
Yeah, we can probably give it to Doug, or I can notify Amanda, or you can, how do you want to do that?
Either way, I mean, if you,
I've got her email, I can notify her.
fantastic. That takes one thing off my plate.
Okay, so any further business to come before the board? Have a motion for adjournment?
so moved.
Well, we didn't ask for public comment from anybody online, but
yeah.
that's for my,
Yeah, we always like that.
Alicia or Christopher, do either one of you have anything you would like to add?
Good morning, Commissioners. I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we keep our board meeting open while we go into executive session, or do we?
You could do it either way. If you want to adjourn and then open up the executive session, that's fine. If you I normally just keep the meeting open, but let the public know that you're not coming back. So we're not just hanging out waiting for you all to put them back online. Sure. Either, however you'd like to do it.
Okay.
I do have one comment, guys.
Yeah.
So I think it's really great that Reagan is involved with the CRC thing. Their mission is very, very good. They're supposed to bring funding into the southeast, well, into rural counties in Colorado. So her suggestion, if you guys could at all go have lunch and schmooze a little bit and go rub elbows with those funders, that could literally mean money coming into our county. They really respect commissioners who show up and talk. So just saying, it was a great idea.
Thank you.
Okay. So either of you have a preference for which one we did, just motion to adjourn and
That's fine.
so. We got a motion
All
and
right, yeah.
meeting adjourned.
Thank you guys for joining us.